Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdgasm Podcast, the podcast where we talk about things that are nerdy and things that are naughty. I am Merlin Sensei, and I put the bomp in the bomp shabomp shabomp. With me is the 12-sided guy who put the ram in the ramalama ding dong. Switch Riggs, who of course put the bop shubop bomp bomp ba bomp in the bomp shabomp ba bomp ba bomp. Cabra, who put the dip in the dip, the dip, the dip, dip.
You're
And that
damn
makes
right I
us
did.
some people that made a song that two people fell in love to, or as we like to put it, Nerdgasm Inc.
Hooray! So I know that that's not from Grease, but like Grease has come up a couple times. I was kind of bummed about Olivia Newton-John, to be perfectly honest.
Sort of is. It's at the very end. It's not one of their songs, but they sang it.
But at any rate, I was trying to explain who Olivia Newton-John is to a 17-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and none of them knew what I was talking about, right? This is not a musical theater household anymore. I am the musical theater household. And
I mean,
it's
you
one
tell
of
them
those
about
things
the song Physical. You
that
gotta
they
get
probably do know, right? But as I'm trying to explain like to them, I realize that I think I might be the Sandra Dee in this household. And it hit me very suddenly all at once.
no.
Yeah, if anybody in this household is the naive peaches and cream, everything's going to be okay if we just love one another and work together. That's me.
Nah, you're not Sandra Dee, you're Frenchy.
I don't want to be Frenchy.
I'm sorry, you're Frenchy.
I really don't want. She was such a screw up, though.
Aw, but her heart was in the right place.
But I don't think I'm a screw up.
You're not, and she wasn't really a screw up. She was just
Backpedal faster, bitch.
she was just a beauty school dropout.
And anyway, I'm
Isn't
sad
it
about it.
also one of the songs?
Yes, that is also one of the songs.
That's what the joke was. Good job, 12.
Surprise,
Be
I'm
with
also
it.
a musical theater person.
I figured
That's
it.
right.
I've only seen the movie twice. That's it. Bone. He is
All I
not making
know is she's
noises.
Olivia Newton gone now.
Ooh. Ooh. I felt that one. Jeez.
That hurt me.
Ooh,
It's
no.
The look I got was totally worth it, though.
at the worst, like,
She's to your right, 12.
You giggled appropriately at the right time.
Oh.
Oh, you have headphones and you could hear him. I forgot he had headphones on. I was like, how did he giggle at exactly the right time? I'm so confused. So I have an interesting story that I feel like Merlin you'll appreciate and be enraged by.
Oh, good. Do tell.
So today in my work at Wiley Wallaby University.
Go fighting muskrats.
Yep, sure. Fighting muskrats. Let's go for it. So I had this moment today where I was told that I need to make sure that when I'm helping other departments with things, that I'm not doing it too quickly. Because if I do it too quickly, they'll think I don't have enough to do, right? So I shouldn't say yes to everything. But of course, I want to be as helpful as possible, right?
Correct. You see, and that's the trap everyone always gets caught in. You want to make a good impression. You want to show that you're valuable. But then the problem is, you show that you're valuable.
But that's
which
not
means
even
they
it.
want to take advantage of you.
So that's not even what they're concerned about. That wasn't the discussion. The discussion wasn't you're too valuable. The discussion was, oh, well, if people see you taking on all these tasks, they'll think you don't have enough to do. And then we have to justify your job. And it's like, but isn't my job to do those things for other people? Isn't that part of my position is like interacting with those other departments? And it was like, right, but just like, don't be too fast.
Bring up the pirate gif. Well, yes, but actually no.
Right. So like today was just like an endless series of me trying to explain like, and so that's what my boss is sitting there, and my boss is like, I just want to be perfectly clear. I don't have a problem with the way you're doing things, but this is some things that other people are noticing, right? So it's like, be helpful, but don't do it too quickly, but be efficient so you can get back to your other tasks. And you want to make sure that you're helping the other departments, but you don't want to look like you don't have enough to do. And and I'm just like, and he's like, do you understand? And I'm like, no. I said, you just gave me two completely contradictory statements. He's like, well, yeah, it's really about finding a balance. I said, but there's no balance. Those are literally two opposite ends of what you're telling me to do.
You see, we need you to keep doing what you're doing, but stop doing what you're doing. Otherwise, you can't keep doing what you're doing.
Right?
I have two things on that. For my job, is if you work too quickly, they think that you're skipping calls. And I'm like, no, I'm just efficient with the call. And they're like,
Right.
oh, well, if you keep going at this rate, we're going to have to investigate. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm doing the job correctly and efficiently? Wait, what?
Well, the word that they used was reactive. I'm very reactive.
Mhm.
And yes, I am very reactive, because when I'm told something needs done, I'd rather get it done immediately if I have the time than let it sit on a to-do list with 17 other things. I don't want to waffle about it. And so that's what somebody said, you're going 100 miles an hour and you don't know which direction you're going. And I went, no, I know which direction I'm going. I'm trying to go fast because I got other stuff to do. And to me, it makes sense. So today was just like a day of like, I left the meeting and I called Dress Blacks and I was like, I don't know if that was a good meeting or a bad meeting. Like, I feel bad inside, but like, they said good things, so I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
Is that the form of punishment you're looking for?
it's not the form of punishment I'm looking for. Like,
you bring up the phrase being reactive, and when I used to work for arcade, we used to have it. It's like proactive, good, reactive, bad. But they're telling you reactive, bad. So do they want you to be deactive?
well, and they told me that they want us to be more proactive, right? And I said, great, that's wonderful. What would you like me to do then? Because we've never really had like a formal, hey, this is your job sort of training. It's just been a lot of reaction to, here, can you take this? Here, can you take this? Here, can you take this? And me going, yeah, of course I can take that. No problem. And, it's just one of those things where the very nature of my position thus far has been reactive, because I've never been given any proactive training on any one subject. And today was just one of those days where, like, that was really frustrating. I felt like I made a lot of people angry, and it was just not a great day. But meanwhile, at the same time, like, I thrive under that pressure sometimes. So like, I was a mess internally, but I'm sitting at my desk going, great, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Great, fantastic. And my staff members are going, I don't know. And I'm just going, fake it till you make it. You got it. Like, just keep going. We got this. We're getting it done. And I was like, I feel like I'm being fairly productive. Like, I'm still getting shit handled, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing any of this right. Like, today was just one of those things where I was like, I don't know if I'm better off or worse off than when I started. Adulting is hard.
It is. I'm sorry, I got another piece of this.
No, go ahead.
So my mother worked at a different location, but same thing. She was a cafeteria lady for Oberlin.
Mhm.
She would just do her job. She'd do the job, and then if she saw something, she'd do it. Being reactive and proactive at the same time. But she was so good at it, everyone was getting mad at her because she wouldn't stop. They're like, slow down, or so that we don't get more stuff to do. Even her boss told her to do that, like, to slow down, because they didn't want they won't want to see the upper management. If they see it, they're gonna put more tasks on top of them. And my
Mhm.
mom's like, okay, so, and it's like, because we can do more, but they don't
Right.
want to.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Well,
we could be so much more, so much
well,
better.
honestly, though, I don't blame Oberlin's management or supervisor or whatever person was in charge over there, because, you know, we've talked about it on the podcast before. We don't get paid to excel.
We don't. We do not get paid to excel.
We are expected to excel. People demand we excel, but we sure as fuck don't get paid to excel.
Well, that's like, I got an email today talking about how, congratulations, like, because we now work with dining, like the dining program as well. We're now housed under one location. We're happy to offer you, and I'm thinking like, fuck yes, meal plans for staff, and it's like
a one-time pizza party,
a 50% buy-in. So they will match any amount that we pay up to $500 towards a meal plan, which is not awful, but I don't have that kind of extra money. Like, I could have them pull it out of my paycheck, but they're already pulling so many things out of my paycheck. Like, they're pulling so much money out of my paycheck already. And it's not like, here, we'll give you actual dining swipes. It's here, we'll just put your money on this instead of in your bank account. It's like, no thanks, I'm good.
At arcade, it was like, okay, it's, you know, here is your uniform, here are your 2 different shirts. Would you like an extra shirt? We can go ahead and deduct that out of your pay. What?
Got that.
That's how it was
at other places.
Oh, do you want
bakery? Yep.
Long sleeves for the winter? We can deduct that out of your pay.
Yep. That was the bakery. I wanted a long sleeve shirt. I had to pay for it.
I worked at a call center, and they were like, you need to wear a uniform. It's like, no one's going to see me.
At all.
Yeah. And they're like, we'll pay for two of them. If you want another one, I'm like, no, I don't want one to start with.
Yeah.
It's just
that is one of the things that really just makes me upset right now. I have a real problem with, if you have a rule, apply it to everybody equally, right?
Yes, you hit it before I could get to it, but I was going to say, it's like the worst part about a lot of these jobs are the rules are different for everybody.
They are. And
we need you to be less reactive. We need you to be more middle line. Meanwhile, this person over here, we need you to be more reactive. You over there, go ahead and take your 50th smoke break of the day.
Well, luckily, we live on I work on a smoke-free campus, so that's not an issue so much.
That didn't stop anyone.
Yeah. But I will say, like, for me, my biggest thing is I'm dressed professionally for work every single day because that's what's expected of me. So I am always in business casual attire. That's fine. That's how I was taught that you behave in a professional level position. No problem. However, there are people in the office, honest to God, walked into a professional staff meeting the other day with her ass hanging out of her shorts. Like, full bottom half, if I would have cupped it, I could have touched everything, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Daisy Dukes are not
they were
attire.
Short. They were high-waisted, and she had them on with a crop top. I'm not saying I don't own clothes like that. I'm saying I don't wear them to the office. Should we be able to wear however we want and not be afraid of whose gaze is on us? Absolutely. Should you be able to wear that in a business casual setting? Absolutely the fuck not. And if she can do it, then how come I can't wear jeans? If she can have her ass hanging out, why can't I wear a t-shirt?
I've always hated that there's a difference between khakis and cargo pants. I've always been like, they're tan. Who the fuck cares?
There is a difference between khakis and cargo pants. My old supervisor fought that. I've never seen him wear anything but cargo pants, actually, now that I think about it.
The pockets are useful.
Even like, the khaki versus jeans, I don't understand it. I don't see the difference, really.
I just know it was a fight for me. Not even a fight. The one thing I didn't have to fight is my boss went, you don't need to wear heels. Like, I wore heels the first day. I made it to lunch. I went to Walmart and bought tennis shoes. I was like, I can't do this. There's more than, there's almost 24 buildings that I work between. And I can't run around in heels. And my boss was like, yeah, this is not a heels position. You're fine. But everything else, it's been like, hey, dress professional, dress professional, dress professional, which I don't have a problem with. But then everyone should be dressed professionally. And unfortunately, what I have noticed is it tends to be, you know what? No, I can't even say that. I was going to say it's the thinner, conventionally pretty girls that are allowed to dress that way. But I saw one of the other people who was not thin or conventionally pretty. And I know that sounds mean to say, but they're not. And they were doing it. And I was like, how is this okay? How can they do that when they have a master's degree? This is not like me, who is technically in a less than position because it's not a master's required position. They have their degree. And they're out here in spandex bike shorts and a crop top. I was like, all right, cool.
It all
So let's
depends on
pick a
who you
lane.
know.
It all
Like I
depends on who
said,
you know.
50th smoke break of the day is perfectly fine when you are literally fucking the brother of the assistant manager. How did you get hired into this position in the first place? That is a major conflict of interest.
I mean, I fucked my way into my
there.
last position. Technically.
And the 3 positions before that.
More than 3.
I did.
Get it? Missionary dog. You had to.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, I guess technically
That was an okay joke, 12. That one.
I
gets
fucked my
passed.
way into the interview. Or I fucked my way into the trial period.
Then
they're like, yeah, you can actually work.
You just
got to get your foot in the door.
way through.
That's right.
I fucked my way into this. I'm gonna fuck my way out.
That's exactly right. That
Then
was
you
the
condemn
one.
me for being a himbo.
So I have to tell just this one story. I had this conversation with Dress Blacks, and I can tell this story because I know that his boss doesn't listen to this podcast. And we're open, right? We're not. This is not a closed system. If we have other play partners, it's not the end of the world. I tend not to. That's just not me as a person. But it's not. It's something I'm allowed to pursue, just like Titmouse is allowed to pursue, just like Dress Blacks is allowed to pursue. We all have that option.
Right.
Dress Black's explicit instructions were, accept my boss. Don't fuck our boss. And I told our boss this because he had made a comment, and I was like, oh no, not you. He's like, what? Why? And I'm like, you'll have to ask Dress Blacks, but I'm just not allowed to fuck you. It's anybody but you. He's like, now I'm offended. Like, no, I'm just absolutely fucking. I said, I mean, you could take it up with him. And I'm thinking also, though, like.
Ironically, I was also on the end of anyone but you at one point in time.
You were on the end of anyone but you. That was oddly enough, yeah, ex-husband's rule was anybody
wasn't
but
there a period of time where we're like, how is he on the list and I'm not?
Yeah, that was the weird thing, right? As I was actively, well, and see, that was the odd thing. Like, I guess for our new listeners that have not been listening to this, my ex-husband at the time knew about 12, knew about, I don't know who I'm pointing at, knew about 12, knew that we were talking quite graphically, quite often, and was like, I mean, yeah, I'm not into that stuff, so if you want to get it there, it's fine, right? Then there was like a weird snafu where like he didn't realize that video was involved, and he thought it was texting. He didn't realize that voice conversations were happening. And I said, well, you recognize that Discord is like a microphone program, like, right? Like, you know this, I showed you this. And it was, well, I just knew you'd find a loophole. And I was like, well, no, that's not what I was trying to do. It got very confusing there for a while. And then it was, you know what, it's fine. Just, it was like, are you sure? This is the importance of communication, right? Like, and I sat there and said, are you sure? Are you okay with this? Honesty is a big part of open communication. And unfortunately, I just did not quite get the honesty that I needed. It was one of the things that then later got thrown in my face. But this sounds so mean when I say it. It just sounds mean to Merlin. But like, here I was talking to 12 actively about wanting to sleep with him, actively about sexually engaged topics, because at the time, again, my rules were anything but intercourse. And he was fine with that, but don't fuck Merlin. And I was like,
which is, I mean, for anybody watching YouTube or that's ever checked out Twitch or whatever, I'm not exactly, the belle of the ball.
well, and all I can assume is, again, it's because I've known Merlin since I was 14. Cat's out of the bag, guys. We've known each other forever. We went to high school together. We dated forever ago for about a month. Like, this was not a super serious relationship. I've known Switch almost as long, since 15 or 16, I think was when we had a class together the first time. And again, we
were in the same after school club.
Yep.
We were in a couple of the same after school clubs, but these two, we were both in Academic Challenge.
We were
both in Academic Challenge.
And then the three of us were in Fantasy Club. Not as
Fiction
sexy
Club.
as it sounds. Fiction
Club.
Fiction Club.
Maybe that's why we couldn't call
I
it
was
Fantasy Club.
the president of Fiction Club. Fuck you very much. Get it right. Give me my title. But, however, like, those two who were actually close enough for, like, me to fuck around with, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was proximity. Maybe he was like, you can't fuck them, but go ahead and say whatever you want to 12. I recognize that I'm pointing and none of this is probably correct.
Point forward.
And so I had point forward. And so I had the conversation about being allowed to have an online daddy. And that was quite okay up until I think he realized that we could see each other, and then it became a thing. I'm still not sure of the exact logistics of that, but to each their own. That's really, again, like, I just want to stress, I'm sorry, Merlin, and then I'll shut up.
No, you're fine.
I really want to stress the importance of open and honest communication, because open communication doesn't do anything if you're not being honest. And the big problem with that is, I tend to be a very trusting person. I tend to be a very open person. I tend to be a very transparent person. And so I tell the truth. It does not occur to me to lie, because that's too much fucking energy. Because then I got to keep that shit straight. Then I got to remember who I told what. I don't do it. Like, I'm not saying I never lie or I don't tell. I'm going to sneeze.
White lies.
Yeah. Everybody does. Anybody that says they've never fibbed there's no way. They're a sociopath. They're a sociopath if they've somehow never lied in their entire life, right?
Functioning sociopath, thank you very much.
But, I have to assume that what somebody tells me is the truth, because I'm not a mind reader. And so when somebody tells me
a closed situation like that,
yes,
so to speak, where it's just like, hey, it is you and it is I, and we are talking, and we are the only two people this affects, so why would you lie to me?
Right. But in general, I have just found honesty is typically the best policy. Now, I will say there are times when somebody goes, are you okay? And I go, I'm fine. That's not clearly the case, right? But it's like, I'm fine enough, right? I'm okay in this situation. I am okay to continue functioning. Like, and there are times when people have gone, is everything okay? And I fully looked at them and go, no, not even a little bit, but let's continue. Because sometimes that's your options. But
I try and steer my counselor away from that question. Like, every time I have counseling, it's just like, how are you doing today? Ooh, can we not ask that question? It's very complicated.
Yeah.
Even if I'm doing good theoretically.
Yeah. So just one of those things is, like, nobody can read your mind. You don't get to lie to another person. You don't get to be dishonest about your feelings and then be upset when they didn't react the way that you needed them to react. Be open, be honest, I know, and Dress Blacks is probably going to go, ugh, back behind me. If you want to have any kind of trust in any person, you have to be honest with yourself and with other people to begin with. I know Dress Blacks is big on, you don't have faith in people because faith is based on nothing. You can have trust in people because they've earned it, which is a good way to look at things, to be perfectly honest. I tend to try to have faith in people, and it's hard because people suck. But Be open.
Well,
Be
if you're
honest.
lucky.
Be communicative. God damn it.
I was watching the first episode of the Netflix Resident Evil with Mo Guns about a week ago.
Is it any good?
It's not for me,
It's not
and
bad. And I'm with him
and
with this.
but it had a lot of potential, but the part that I didn't like was a lot of here's what's going on now, but this is how we kind of got here in this whole big drama about something else. And I literally only watched the first episode and I was like, I can't do this.
It does speed up in the second and third episode.
But Mo Guns was like, Merlin, you're very reactionary and emotional and visceral towards some of these people because I don't know, it's the first episode and I don't know if it's thing, but it's like a character dressed up as a school mascot and assaulted another character, but it was blamed on a third character. And I was like, this first character is a stupid fucking bitch. If you wanted to go ahead and do something, not dress up like a mascot and know it was going to get blamed on the third character. And he's like, dude, come on. I'm like, no. I'm all about respect, but, you gotta earn my fucking respect. This is a bitch move.
But you're not supposed to
You
respect
may
that
have had
character.
the best intentions behind it to like make it look like this third character was a badass and did take things into their own hands like you wanted them to, but that's not the type of person third character wanted to be, so fuck off.
Let's see, that's exactly what they want you to do. Is not like that choice, but also see that choice and put it towards their future self and how they react to a similar situation. And to see if they do the same thing, if they learned their lesson.
If you got past the first episode, you'd know that, Merlin.
Well,
fuck.
No. Because of that first episode, I was like, I can't do this.
Okay, so I also had one here. If anyone has been noticing, Netflix released a show Sandman recently.
Is it based on Neil Gaiman's Sandman?
I don't know who that is. It's based on the DC
Josh
character.
Black says yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, sure.
Neil Gaiman? Is that right?
Wasn't this? I thought this Sandman was like a Stephen King thing.
No, it's a DC comic.
No.
It says based on DC comic at the end.
Okay, yeah, then that's Neil Gaiman's work.
But that story definitely has the morals and everything we're talking about, even just right now. Like there's an episode specifically about that no one can lie and how it would affect everybody.
That happens in Supernatural.
Like you can't even tell a white lie that would fix the situation.
Well, I mean, it even goes back as far as the movie Liar Liar with Jim Carrey.
But yeah, it's a very British, answer to everything. But I'm watching it and I'm just loving the cerebral idea of it all. I want to find the comics to read them.
I've heard they're very good.
Yeah. But definitely something to watch. And I think it's only 10 episodes, which 10 hours of really good television.
There you go.
All I know is my canon version of Resident Evil is immediately better because I heard Resident Evil with Mo Guns and pictured Resident Evil with Mo Guns.
I would watch that.
Sorry, I got a work email. Always on call, guys. Always on call. What was I gonna say?
You write down between 10:56 p.m. and 10:57 p.m. I want my pay for answering that fucking email.
I'm salaried. That doesn't.
Oh, okay. Never
Also,
mind.
I do whatever I want.
So Moo, there's one, if you do get to watch the show, which I highly recommend. When Dream, and you'll know who Dream is in the first 2 minutes of the show, which is basically Sandman. When he goes and fights a person in hell, I want your reaction about the fight. I want to know what you think.
If I get to watch it?
If you watch it.
Is it the Sandman like you tell people like go to sleep, Sandman's coming?
He's the Lord of Dreams. So yes.
I need to admit something to you guys that I told Dress Blacks about the other day, and he laughed at me like a lot. It was only within remember when I made the comment about how I didn't understand I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus was funny because Daddy is Santa. When I was a kid, I didn't realize it was like he'll put you to sleep with his magical sand. I literally thought it was a threat. Like, go to sleep or he will come and throw sand in your eyes.
Oh, no.
That's what I thought it was.
Oh my god. I had a moment like that literally watching Resident Evil, the first episode, with Mo Guns. And I felt extremely stupid because I'm 38 years old now. Am I 38 years old now? Shit, I think I'm 38 years old now.
Not on the.
Are you 38
Are you on the
years
hill?
old?
I'm either
You're not
37
38.
or 38. I don't know
You're
anymore.
37 because my ex-husband is only 37.
I don't.
85, right?
Yes?
85. Yeah,
Yeah?
you're 37.
Am I though?
Yes.
Okay. But, they were talking about, was it that or were we watching something else? We might have been watching something else, and it was, and they said Atlas reached down with a helping hand or something like that.
Atlas
thought
who
it
holds
was
up the
Resident
world?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Then I thought about the book Atlas Shrugged, and I was like, oh my god, they're talking about Atlas holding the world on his shoulders, and he shrugged. For some reason, I always thought it was like this utopian, dystopian place called Atlas, and it was shrugged off. I know, I'm an idiot! So we all have those
What
moments.
it's like for me. Ignorance is
man.
bliss, my friend.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
I think we are. 12. You wanted to talk about a video game, I believe.
Did I?
12.
I don't.
Sorry, Switch. I'm stupid.
There
I'm
we
getting
go.
my people mixed up. I'll go ahead and
You-
see you guys later. It's
Did you
midnight.
Did you just say I get white people mixed up? I literally thought he said I get white people mixed up.
No, I said
Just
I'm getting
walked
my people mixed up. Switch, please. You have a
Yes.
game you want
White
to talk
people
about.
mixed
Save
up.
me.
Just real quick, day of recording, the game Tower of Fantasy came out today. Basically, if you want a rundown of the game itself, it is quite seriously Genshin Impact, but Cyber World, and you don't have the annoying fairy lady. Quite
Oh,
seriously.
Fuck that fairy lady.
More
I
and more,
fucking-
you see other players as well. That's the other big thing. I feel. But I was playing around with it. Very snappy. All for Windows, phones, iPhones, all that good jazz. But yes, there's no more fairy. There's a character that looks like it, but they're not, your companion. Thank goodness.
Good. Fuck that. Get him out of here.
But it's all the gachapon, of weapons and characters, and same idea. But I like the new package. Maybe I'll be playing it a little bit. Maybe we'll stream it or put it on YouTube.
There you go.
Yay.
One more piece of video game controversy, so to speak.
Controversy.
Within the last week, Guilty Gear Strive received a character update, DLC, whatever. Got a new character to play as, a fan favorite of the Guilty Gear series, the character Bridget, who uses tactical destructive yo-yos. And the original story of Bridget is that Bridget was a boy that pretended to be his sister in order to protect her, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But now, throughout the years, storylines progress and stuff like that. That is how Bridget started out, but now Bridget has transitioned, so to speak, and is being listed as a trans character, which I think is great.
Cool.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. So they started off as a boy, pretended to be a girl, actually kind of found themselves that way and is transitioning or has transitioned and is trans now. And it's like, okay, cool, that's a cool story. Whereas other people are like, this fucking bullshit. They're retconning all the stuff about blah 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 blah. It's like, what?
No, because
What?
I think it
What?
still honors their original story. It still honors
Right.
the origin. It just kind of shows where they went from there.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about it. The TLDR basically is Bridget's in Guilty Gear now, and that's cool because I think that's a cool
She's turning the
character in
frogs
general.
gay.
Yeah.
Well, she'll
Fucking
be right
Alex
there
Young.
with the Street Fighter character too. It did
Oh,
basically the same thing.
Poison.
Yeah, which I think transitioned from a girl to a male.
Well,
I think it's
I
the other
can't
way.
remember off the top of my head. I thought the original issue with Poison was that during like a victory thing or something like that, Hugo's character slaps them or something like that. And in America, it was like, oh no, can't slap women, so Poison is a man, dressed up in drag or something like that. And it's just like,
You
okay.
tried to make it better and you made it worse.
Yeah. So it is what it is, though. But I say, hell yeah. Mo Guns and I went to a anime convention a long time ago, and there was a really awesome Black Bridget who was a guy, you know what I mean? But he wore the Bridget cosplay and stuff, and he actually did yo-yo tricks. Really cool person. I don't know if he was trans at the time or anything like that, or if he was just dressing up as the character because he liked the character. But fuck yeah, cosplays for everybody. Do it.
Definitely.
All right. Are we ready to move towards the Geeky Wiki, sir?
I reckon we can go ahead and geeky wiki. Starting with last week's sneaky peeky at this geeky wiki that starts with Sunday, August 14th, I told you all that it was Gay Uncles Day. It's also Love Your Bookshop Day, Melon Day, National Creamsicle Day, the Day of Cantabria, and World Lizard Day. Monday, August 15th, is Chant at the Moon Day. Check the Chip Day, and we're talking about the chips that are in your pets just to make sure that everything's still working great.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Discovery Day, the flooding of the Nile, as well as National Jean Day, I believe. Not Jean Day. It might be National Jean Day, but like the name, the person. You know what I mean? Jean, whatever. It's also National Lemon Meringue Pie Day and No SpongeBob Day.
No SpongeBob Day?
No SpongeBob Day.
Please.
Tuesday,
Sometimes.
August 16th is National Rum Day. I'm going to have to call Mo Guns for that. It's also National Airborne Day, as in the Airborne 101 or, the Special Forces Airborne.
Oh, I was like Airborne, like the vitamin C supplement?
No.
They have their own day? All right.
Yeah. It's also National Energy Multiplier Day. Saint Roch's Day, Saint Roche's Day. I guess it's Pet Day or something like that. And it's also Charles Bukowski's birthday. Forgive me. Wednesday, August 17th, Baby Boomers Recognition Day. Mae
boomers.
West's birthday. National Abel Day, as in the name Abel, as in Cain and Abel. Not necessarily Abel of Cain and Abel, but just Abel, the name. Yes.
Oh, here we go.
So, Mae West, there's a show called Dirty Blonde. It's a stage show, and we went to go see it in high school. And we went with the Spanish/theater teacher, who was very, very, very religious. And
we'll just call them Senor.
We'll just call them Senor. And there was a scene at the beginning of the show, first of all, where she's singing and she goes like this and her whole tit falls out. It's supposed to. Like, that's the joke. She has a costume malfunction. And our teacher goes, ah! And claps his hand over like the closest person to him's eyes. Like, it's just like, no! Like, the show continues, and the joke is that they're like rehearsing for a movie scene, and this guy dressed as a sailor is supposed to run in and yell, "There's a boatload of guns in the harbor," and the guy runs in and yells, "There's a boatload of cunts in the harbor," and again, Senor's like, "Oh!" like just freaks the fuck out. He's like, "What did I bring you guys to? I'm so sorry, children. Oh my god!" Like the whole way he's like crossing himself. It just such a nice, like, I remember he wouldn't even say the word bra in class. Like bra would come up in a script and it was upper body torso part holder. And you're like, oh, you're too good for this world. You poor
Ever
dear.
hear his story about the mix-up with cervezas?
No, I did not.
So, I was not on this trip, but I was in speech and debate, and he was in charge of it. And I forget if he told the story, if I heard it from somebody else, but apparently during a school trip or whatever, they went to I
Costa
believe it
Rica?
was no, I believe that they went to
When they went to Spain.
Yeah,
There's the
You know-
Costa Rica trip, and then like 2 years later they did go to Spain.
I believe it was the Spain trip. So he's rooming with a couple of the students just because, save on money, that's what you do and stuff like that. So he gets to the hotel or
You know,
whatever.
stuff
and
are
like that.
crazy cheap. We took
does.
like a whole class, 3 shows in New York City, hotels, everything for like $110. I have no idea how we did it.
So he gets there and the person behind the desk or whatever is like, would you like cervezas? It's like cervezas, like drinks? Yeah, sure. You know what? We're in Spain. It's perfectly legal. We'll have like one or something like that. You know what I mean? So they go upstairs, they wait, and then there's a knock on the door. And 2 prostitutes walk in.
He's a fluent Spanish speaker. How did he mix that up?
Apparently, it was a mix-up of colloquialisms for cervezas versus services.
I mean, he is a poor little gentle soul, and so I could see where he maybe wouldn't have
He's like,
understood.
oh, no.
Yeah, I could see him just.
But, like,
was a
I
hoot.
guess he let them come in or something like that, and then he and the students just, like, literally just had, like, a discussion or something like that. And it was like, okay, I could see Senor doing that.
Teachable moment, guys. Teachable moment.
So, very interesting. Anyway, Wednesday, August 17th is also National Black Cat Appreciation Day. We're going to have to remind Raven about that and tell her to appreciate Dagger, even though he can be a little shit. It's also National Thrift Shop Day. Go look for those awesome bargains. If you find any cheap video games, send them my way. As well as Made in the Philippines Product Week. Thursday, August 18th is the Green Man Festival. Patrick Swayze's birthday. Edward Norton's birthday. National Angela Day. I told you there are a lot of name days this month. National Fajita Day, Pinot Noir Day, and Never Give Up Day. Friday, August 19th is Gold Cup Parade. International Bow Day, as in bow tie, it seems. Bow ties are cool.
Bow ties are cool.
Mm-hmm. It's also International Orangutan Day, Kool-Aid Day, oh yeah!
Oh yeah.
National Patient Advocacy Day, National Potato Day, and National Soft Ice Cream Day. I love soft serve ice cream.
Dressbox
So
does not.
Really?
No
Love
me gusta
soft serve.
soft serve.
Finally, Saturday, August 20th is Hungary National Day, International Geocaching Day, International Homeless Animals Day, National Bacon Lovers Day, National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day. Did I say that right, Moo? Since it's in pie form?
Pecan pie. They're pecans, but it's a pecan pie.
It's also National Radio Day and World Honeybee Day. Sorry, as in the actual insect. Also, as a side note, it's World Mosquito Day. Do not mix those two up.
Actually, I did all the geocaches in our hometown. There's about 20.
Are any of them like really cool? Like where you gotta kind of like solve a little teeny tiny uh
I think one or
thing?
two of them are. There's one that actually, it's unfortunately not there anymore, where it guides you through a small garden, and then it eventually you get to sign your name and say you did it and everything. And yeah, a lot of people left pictures there. Unfortunately, it's just not there anymore.
Oh.
I know, but
We've
they're
got
fun.
we've got one up we've got one up here that a local artist did this thing where they've got these weird little exhibits placed around town that are the plaques describe them as artifacts sent back from the future to prevent. So yeah, the artist did this in several locations, and then someone else made a geocache around that where you have to like prevent whatever disaster it was by finding the geocache.
Huh.
It's actually
Oh,
pretty cute idea.
There was one that actually sits inside of a tree, and that one was hard to actually get to. But yeah, they're fun. Definitely
I was
recommend.
watching a streamer who said that they went geocaching one time and they found one that was like in a bamboo tub that was like close to a stream. And what you had to do is you had to plug a hole in the bamboo tube and then put water in it, and then it would raise like a little platform or something that was also in the tube that the rock was on, basically. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Anyway, Sunday, August 21st, your sneaky peeky at next week's Geeky Weeky, National Spumoni Day. Not to be confused with Neapolitan ice cream. Spumoni is way different. Usually has to do with pistachio ice
It
cream,
does. I think
chocolate, and
chocolate
cherry.
pistachio. I think it's chocolate pistachio and cherry. Yeah.
So Merlin, real quick before we get into the naughty corner, um,
Yes.
we have
Vanilla or cherry vanilla. Yeah.
we
Sorry.
have
Metroid
the
2.
original Metroid 2
Very
and
cool.
the original Chessmaster.
I also have the original Chessmaster for Game Boy.
Yep.
I've got it around here somewhere.
Yep. So
Hey, Blueberry, can
if
I
you were
borrow these?
interested in one of those, maybe we can send one your way.
If you're looking for old video games, oddly enough, the last time I was at a thrift store, I found, it's so funny to me, the Neopets Adventure CD game.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
My poor Neopets are all dead.
So Neopets won't let me back into my account, and I'm pissed about it. Because I had a Poogle. God damn it, I had a Poogle. So, I did not do this on purpose. Welcome, friends and listeners, to Moo's Kink Quest Corner, your new home for all of your Kink Quest information. I did not intentionally bend over like this, but it's really kind of an apt. Nope, please don't.
Are we talking
an
about
apt-
spanking today?
We are not talking about spanking today. This is kind of one of those on a list of things that I've noticed for me that I thought maybe it's just me, and I'm throwing it out there because I'm wondering if maybe this is something that other people struggle with. I can count on one. I won't say I've never done it, but I can count on one hand probably the number of times I've been able to come standing up. And I don't know if this is a women versus men thing, but it's a struggle. Like, it's a serious struggle. See, you're saying, so it's not just me. Titmouse says yes as well. So, like,
Define standing up, like just as you are right now. Like if you were standing but bent over, and then somebody was just hitting it from behind.
yeah, standing but bent over, I can do a little better, right? Like, I can think of a couple times, like quickie in the basement or somewhere like where we were, like that I have been like bent over, like to where I can also sort of reach underneath myself and rub what I need to, where it's happened, but not frequently. And like if I'm in the shower, like, and I try to stand up and just be like, oh, well, we'll just do this real quick. No, I won't. It doesn't work for me. And I'm wondering, I guess maybe for those of us with penises, it might be different. Is this something I'm wondering if any of you guys have noticed, or is this I'm just all alone in this one? Obviously, except for Titmouse, who agrees with me.
Are
It
you
hits
saying
differently.
to notice with female partners or with ourselves?
Even with
Yeah, I was
yourself,
gonna say,
like,
with-
do you have a position that, like, you know, like, it works, that you're like, yeah, this one's, I'm probably not coming this way,
what
or with,
See,
ironically enough for me, at least in the past, uh, and I've said it before, I don't do it all that often, but in the past when I've masturbated, I almost exclusively come standing up.
really?
Like, I won't be standing the entire time, but
Just kind of standing in a corner of your room, huh? Just being
no,
weird.
no, that would be really weird if I was in a corner of my room.
What makes
Oh.
that weird?
there's a twist in the Blair Witch I haven't seen yet.
All I see is all the little
I'm just curious
knuckles.
what exactly that makes
characters.
it weird.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like a creepy thought, like just standing in the corner, and
You can have
like,
your-
am I
you can have your
facing the
towel
corner?
already
And
set
just
up in the corner,
Your towel.
See,
I don't know.
all I remember right now
Mi-
is the
minimizing the mess.
do you know the way with the Knuckles characters in
Oh, this is
VR.
all tits.
Oh, that's okay. We
I
can
like
be all
defending.
tits. It's fine.
I mean, as Dress Blacks kind of just said, like the reason why I stand is to minimize mess, so to speak, because usually I'll have, tissues at hand or whatever, and it's
You're heading
just
toward what?
easier for
I'm gonna
me
sit in
to
a
aim
chair.
when I'm standing up.
I just have noticed that too. So, like, and I don't know if it's just a posture thing, if it's like the way everything just ends up.
Just tensing of different muscles. You're not
It's
you're
possible.
not used to.
Like, if it's just me standing, shake. Like, if I come hard enough, my legs shake really bad. Like, I will fall down. And then, so I don't know if maybe part of it is just that mental block where I'm like, if you don't, you're gonna fall down. Like, don't do that, and maybe that's part of it. But yeah. And so I'm wondering, I again, this is another one of the ones I don't expect a listener to just chime right in and be like, that's right, I have issues with this too. But like, I would be curious to hear other people's input on this, just because that has always been my sort of experience with it. I've also noticed, though, even like doggy style, sometimes it's like I can't get everything to line up the way I want it to with the vibrator.
That, and I'm obviously not trying to be mean, but that may be just an issue of size, so to speak.
Because I'm chubby?
Well,
But that's
either
the
that
thing.
or because you're chubby, your partner's chubby, who knows?
Yeah, but
It's also
so no. Okay, so that's the difference. I'm not talking about dick position. Dick position's just fine. Like, it's going in and it's going where I want it. It's literally just like the vibrator feels different when it hits.
Hmm.
And so I don't know.
Maybe that's one of those times you need a vibrating cock ring or something like that, so that way when he's, stroking, you feel that vibration hitting your clitoris or whatever.
Cochrane's not going to be able to do what the vibrator she likes do.
I guess that's true.
That would be weird. You'd have to just be sort of like rubbing it on the outside, like.
No, vibrating Cochrane's not going to have the power you want.
True.
That makes me sound. I mean, you're not wrong, but that just makes me sound like I've got like a jackhammer or something.
Personally speaking, though, I find it if I'm having trouble, if I stand up, that seems to help get there. So that's
So
me.
for you, it's different.
It may
It's
just
like
be a
it's
question of
inverse for me.
blood flow.
There also
So
may
to
be some
speak.
association things that it's, you don't have as good an association with doing things while standing.
Maybe.
It's, different muscles are being used. Maybe you just haven't quite got it figured out yet, even how you enjoy it while standing, because the technique needs to be different. The angle needs to be different, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of different factors. I'm sorry, I'm overanalyzing, but you asked a
Oh
question.
no, I mean
No.
you do make a lot of good points. I mean, I'm sure with the right partner, with their legs wrapped around my waist and their arms wrapped around my neck and shoulders, I could kind of, stand and get a good.
Okay, that I've never done. I've never done that simply because I'm heavy. Like, full disclosure, okay, I'm also not I've never been the kind of person that's like, I don't want you to know how old I am. I'm 33. It's not a surprise. I've never been the kind of person that's like, I don't want you to know how much I weigh. Spoiler alert, I'm about 175 pounds. It's not a secret. I weigh what I weigh. Like, 175 is not massive, but 175 is a lot to be bouncing up and down. Like, you're not picking 175 pounds up and down on your
For
dick.
those of you that watch porn with that in it, the next time you watch it, look very carefully at the mass difference between the actors. There is almost always 90+% of the time a noticeable mass difference, and it's
okay.
Yeah,
and,
like I said, with the right part.
And you also notice, even if it's a huge guy, it's almost never a bigger girl.
She's teeny tiny, regardless.
There's just limits to what you can do within reason, just due to center of gravity. So you see that happen, and probably 75% of the time, it's a guy that's over 6 feet tall, weighs over 215 pounds, with a girl that may weigh 100 pounds, maybe. 115 soaking wet.
Yeah, we call gentlemen like that,
and is maybe 5'1", maybe.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're teeny tiny. They have to be.
We've said this before. Porn is a fantasy. You should never really attempt anything you see in porn.
You should never attempt it with the mindset that it's absolutely going to work. I'm not saying never attempt it, but have realistic expectations.
And if you're talking like weirder stuff, bigger stuff, there's a whole lot in porn we do every day.
Well, so on that particular maneuver with larger partners, there are a few things that can be done to help mitigate certain. Like, obviously, it still depends on physicality and everything, right? But if you use not an interior door that is not hollow, for example, the strappings, the athletic strappings, or even the BDSM strappings that go over that can assist in that particular maneuver. If you've got a column in your house that you can get your arms around, right, you lean back, and that's where that position works. So it is doable. It helps that I'm tall too, so there's the heights involved, right? Because I can lean back enough that, as Black said, the center of gravity,
Right. But I think one thing that also Dress Black said was a lot of us were kind of thinking along the lines of performing these acts unassisted, so to speak.
Yes, unassisted. I think there's a lot of, again, this was just more from the mindset of I don't even remember what triggered this in my head today that I was thinking about this. I just had this sudden thought of it's really hard to come standing. Oh, I remember why. It's irrelevant. It's really hard to come standing up. I wonder why I have so much trouble with this. I wonder if anybody else. And it's odd because you can have all the same types of stimulation, right? I've had moments with penetration, whether it be penile or fingers, standing up with vibrator, all the right stimulation is there. And by all, for all intents and purposes, it should have worked. And it just didn't.
Yeah, but again, like I said, think about all the different muscles that are in use simply for standing,
right?
That you wouldn't in any other normal sexual situation.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about
at least in use differently.
Yeah, we've talked about the body makes noises sometimes. If your partner is lying on the bed and you're in semi-missionary or whatever, or maybe you're giving them the old butter churner. Well,
yeah.
Or you're giving them the old butter churner.
Not
the old Mozart burner. Holy shit, no! sometimes the right muscle twists the wrong way or whatever, and sometimes you're gonna fart, sometimes you're gonna queef, sometimes your belly's gonna rumble. Who knows?
Sometimes
But-
you're going to double up because both calves have suddenly seized up, and
That's happened to me before.
Yeah,
I'm like, I was trying to.
Because that
in
shade of
chocolate.
red.
Would you like your chair back? I can give you your chair
Uh,
back now.
yeah.
Yeah, I can give you your chair back.
Bodies are weird in and of themselves, and then you put them in, sexual positions, and then everything's all topsy-turvy. Sometimes literally.
Or topsy bottomy.
That's true.
There should always be a spare office chair.
Well, we have spare chairs. There's just not space in here for them.
For some reason, I thought that was going to be, there should always be a spare hole. It's like, yes, there should.
There should always be
Well,
a
I mean,
spare
depends
hole.
on how people are involved.
But, is that,
So what I was gonna say is just if you struggle with positionality, maybe kind of keep in mind what Dress Black said. Think about the muscles you're using. Think about the muscles you're engaging. Think about different ways you can relax yourself. If you really have your heart set on that position, right? I think
remember,
porn gives
sex
us-
is supposed to be fun.
sex is supposed to be fun, and
but if you want to be good at anything, sometimes you have to work at it.
Practice
This is
makes
true.
perfect.
Full disclosure, right? Sometimes like you forget about like difference in partners and like difference in partners' sizes, and it makes a difference. And like I thought I was pretty flexible. And it turns out I can only open my legs so wide for so long before it hurts. And like know your own limits, right? Like sex is supposed to be fun, but it's also not supposed to like make it so you can't move the next day.
Right. It's
Like-
supposed to be fun for the people that are involved in it, not just for one person or whatever and stuff like that. It's supposed to be fun for everyone that may be involved.
Oh
so don't
fuck, watch me bring this full circle. Open and honest communication the entire
Boom.
time. Communicate what you're dealing with, communicate how you're feeling, communicate how something new is making you feel, communicate what you need to feel good. And if you don't know, communicate that too, because if it's a seasoned partner, if it's a partner you've been with for a while, sometimes they know when you don't.
If you
True.
want to leave your partner unable to move the following day, be sure to let them know that is your intent.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like that's a conversation that's happened before, right? Where it's just like you're going to be sore tomorrow. I have fully gotten text messages from Dress Blacks that just says, "I'm honestly afraid I might hurt you tomorrow," and it's just, and I went, "Good, that's it. It's established." Exactly. Oh yeah, this is what we're doing. Let's disrespect this room. Here we go.
All right. Well, with that, I think that that's a great place to go ahead and wrap things up. So, as always, friends, listeners, viewers, and everyone out there, thank you so much for hanging out with us here at the Nerdgasm Podcast, the podcast where we do indeed talk about things that are nerdy and things that are naughty, and hopefully, maybe we teach you a little bit of something, or at the very least, help you feel not so alone out there in the world.
I was gonna say I'm like Miss Frizzle, but porn, and then my brain thought Miss Jizzle, and I'm sorry.
Yes. Just yes.
As always, you can go ahead and
Somebody
find
fan
us
art
in
that,
different places on the internet.
Her dress is a
Best
cow.
place to find us is on our
Link tree.
link tree. I was like tree. There's a tree involved. linktr.ee/nerdgasm spelled.
N3RDGA5M.
That's right. And all of our links are going to go ahead and be on there to our Twitches, our Twitters, our YouTubes, and all that good stuff. So
Guys, you can get a coffee mug with my face on it. Just saying.
It's true.
The cute anime version of her face.
The cute anime version of my face, not this.
Chibi
hideous fucking
Moo.
thing.
That's what I meant.
There
I
is.
still want merch with your "You Can't Go to Poop's Home" saying on it.
That's right.
Can't go to Poop's house and knock on Poop's door and be mad that Poop is home. That
That's
should
right.
be a diaper bag.
A coffee cup.
Nerdgasm branded laxatives.
Oh, boy.
Or an enema bottle.
There you go.
So until next time, dear friends, please remember to be excellent to each other.
Enjoy yourselves and love yourselves. Be good to yourselves and give yourselves grace. Be open. Be honest. Be communicative. Be kind.
Be
Well-
kind to your weenus.
Mm,
Fuck you.
Remember, it is perfectly acceptable to grab your weenus in public.
and if you're doing too well at work, think about porn a little bit more.
I never heard the word weenus again.
I
she
could
missed
never
it.
hear the I could never hear the word weenus again, and it will still be too long.
Aw, my joke just
Wow, a
went by
really
the
long weenus.
wayside.
Oh, Switch, I'm sorry. Weenus upset me. What was your joke? Tell
Oh,
me
what-
again.
You'll have to watch the YouTube or listen to the podcast.
That's right. So until next time, friends. Bye for now.
Bye,
Bye.
friends. All right.